us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV 15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew. Also known as the mascot of the Wayward Islands Bank. Shout out to everyone who hit me up. Are you? It's too much. But at least I hope for now we will get better service. Better service, Wayward Island Bank. What? That's like saying we're going to have a good government. All right, let's begin with the serious news. Lyndon Lewis, our Minister of Justice, also known as Batman. His office was searched on Friday by the prosecutor office, a.k.a. the RST, a.k.a. Massachusetts, a.k.a. anybody he can't boss around. And it was early in the morning, 8 a.m. His offices were searched for electronics and documents. The reason why is, from what we understand, Mr. Lewis, a.k.a. Batman, wanted to get the Joker and his crew out of Arkham. I mean, Point Blanche. Now, what does that mean? It means that the good minister sent a letter to the management of the Point Blank prison. That falls under his ministry. He is in charge. So the boss, his corporate, sends an order to a management, which is Point Blanche prison, to execute the following. Let Theo Heiliger go, let O'Neill Arenell go, give him an ankle bracelet, and let's keep it moving. The management of the Point Blanche prison was like, nah. He can't do that. Which is grounds for dismissal. I could tell you that. Because if I was Batman, I would have fired the ass. I could tell you that. But that's just my stupid little opinion because I'm just a comedian here. But the management, a.k.a. Stephen Carty, head of the Point Blanche prison, decided to double down on his boss and go and rat him out to, guess who? The OM. Now, of course, the OM has to investigate. Now, how do you investigate the boss? Only in St. Martin. Because it's only in St. Martin we will have an OM that will tell you in the morning, please stay quiet. We have to execute our job, which is to investigate corruption. And then later on say, I need $5 million extra so that we can investigate corruption. You didn't get it? Let me break it down again. It's only in the morning the OM would come to you and say, please stay quiet, step to the side, let me search your entire office, Minister of Justice, who is our boss. And then later in the afternoon say, listen, we want to get some more officers to come on the corruption team so that we can investigate you. Can you sign here and approve these 5 people to come from Holland so that we can hold you and question you and lock you up? Thanks. P.S. Oraya na bofo. We are in uncharted waters, I must say, because usually we investigate the Minister of Justice after he leaves from office. But OM decided to double down and was like, nah, we're going to investigate him now because we understand that he's trying to get the serial killers and the murderers of being O'Neill Arenell and also Theo Heiliger. You know how dangerous it is to the streets. You know, if they come back in St. Martin, the crime is going to go high. So we need to make sure we keep them in Point Blanche, which we have no space for. But they're there. I know you're trying to figure out which side I'm on. I ain't nobody's side, but I find it's ridiculous. On one side, I'm a little bit conflicted because you are investigating your boss, which is unprecedented, because I would have sent the whole OM home. It would have been not house, like KLM, special flight, laters, or you got no respect for my territory because the Minister of Justice is in charge of, guess what? You ready? Justice. But instead, we go back to the story, and we search, and we confiscate, and then we say, all right, see you tomorrow at the picnic. The Minister of Justice with the details, and also a nice kumbaya statement as to why he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I still their boss. They can't do nothing. They can search all they want, but they can't do me nothing. Lyndon Lewis in Parliament on Monday.
After caucusing with the minister and seeing the amount of questions, the minister has indicated that he needs about a week to provide the members of parliament with the answers. The minister has indicated that he will answer the question of MP York at this point in time. So before adjourning the meeting until further notice, I give the floor to the Minister of Justice for his closing remarks. Minister, you have the floor.
With response to your statements, through you, Madam Chair, MP York, when I take this office as Minister of Justice, it was a dream come true. Would you understand what it means it was a dream come true? I'm employed with the Justice Ministry for 17 years. I'm the first homegrown minister. I have been a controversial figure within the Ministry of Justice because I fought for the rights of myself and of my fellow colleagues. Management teams don't like that. And one thing I learned from Mr. Rummy, who taught me the police rules and regulations in Curacao, is that your boss will always know your plichten, your obligations, but forget that you have rights. So I understand when I enter this office that one day somebody will walk into my office because of who I am and what I stand for. This position is honorable. Whether it's honorable to the prosecutor's office or to police management or to the RST, it is honorable to me. And do you understand why? I was born and raised in this country. This is my country. So understand when I say they also exaggerated on the because this minister haven't done anything wrong when he sat in this position. We have problems when I have to deal with former colleagues who have been my senior, that today that I'm their boss, will do anything to see Minister Lewis fail. But it's not gonna happen. Do you understand why? Because who stand before me is in control. The Bible says this, no weapon formed against you will prosper. And it only means one thing. The Bible didn't say that weapons will not be formed. It says they will not prosper. I reach here after 17 years, after 9 years being sent home, after they have tried their utmost best to find something to prosecute me because I stand for the rights of the people. They will try anything today to see me fail. But I don't fear no man that is bleed and breed like me. They came in specifically for electronics. In my office, they tackled one of my colleagues, in which they were also looking for the minister also to get their devices. The laptop is right here. They can come right into this honorable house and take the laptop and the phones because I have nothing to hide. I execute my job with the highest integrity. The OM makes space for who they want to. All right? They make space for who they want to. Because I just got a message from the Immigration Department again pertaining to an overdraft. I am accustomed of getting overdraft from the OM for even bolita slickers. People that smuggling drugs in being sentenced for no crime in this country. But when somebody petitioned their minister on their rights, and I have my colleagues who all is distributed with the work to execute their job, they are the ones being attacked. It shows me where our interest lies in this country. As Minister of Justice, and yes, I like the name Minister of Justice and Rehabilitation, how much do we care about our people in this country? I have prisoners that are calling me through social workers pertaining to their eyesight. Also about the same prisoner that had a tumor, I spoke to the prosecutor's office a few weeks or months ago, whatever it may be, I stand corrected. And I was explained, do you understand the crime that he had committed? But after these questions came up, they gave a negative advice before, but all of a sudden recently I also got a positive advice because this is going to be brought up in Parliament. That is what I think all of a sudden I got a positive advice for. I'm here to play with the emotions of the people of this country. I am the Minister of Justice and it means something with me. When people see me, they see justice because again, I came from this ministry, I lead this ministry, and how can I, for example, to show you that I can think there is a personal issue within the judicial system with Mr. Lewis, is when BZK came here and visited the Council of Ministers and could explain to me that they were let known that the police cells is in a deplorable state. So I asked them, but how they know about that? They told me they learned about that through the police management and also the prosecutor's office. But the Minister of Justice, who's responsible for the upkeep of the police cells, for the upkeep for blatant behavior in this ministry, was not notified by the police management nor the prosecutor's office. I was notified by someone that was recently arrested and tell me about the time spent in the prison. So yes, I sit here not in fear of no one, not even the prosecutor's office, not even the police management or the prison management. I sit here as a leader of this country. When will St. Martin leaders stand up and actually lead in this country? That is what I keep asking myself. Who is the ministers in this country? Is it department heads? Is it the prosecutor's office? Or is it us that took an oath to serve this country wholeheartedly? Again, I would say the decisions that ministers make, they are advisors, and we don't have to take their advice. So of course, when you don't take their advice, you will sit in the type of hot water that I'm sitting in. But I'm here to tell each and every minister of any country that you are a leader. And from the time you took a stand to lead a country, these are the type of things that will happen. But only God will protect us all. And with that, I will answer the balance of the questions in a week's time.
Whoa, that was a little bit strong. That's passionate. You notice that he was like getting his Martin Luther King on. He was like really like, I have a dream that one day we will have a prosecution office that will not look at me but look at everybody else because I'm Batman. Oh, Batman. Oh, Batman. I swear to God, I don't know, but it's happening in this lovely country, but it's going on. So now the question is, what's going to happen? The investigation is ongoing. The prosecutor has ensured that basically Lyndon Lewis, no matter if government fall and he is selected to be the Minister of Justice again, he won't be able to become the Minister of Justice during the screening process because guess what? He's under investigation for signing a letter and sending it to the Point Blank prison for them to execute, which is under his purview. It's like his responsibility. So I understand maybe you don't like it, but at least Stephen Carty from the Point Blank prison could have just sit on it a little bit and wait until he leaves and then start the investigation and then pick him up, search him, keep him for questioning, and then, you know, throw them in the sack of the rest of the politicians that, you want to keep to the side or slow down because they're a little bit too radical. Because you can hear that man, he's radical. He's like, I don't care. I still going to do whatever I want. I go and sit next to the prosecutor the day after she searched my office. I go sit next to her like, yo, what going on? I think we have a picture, Pete. Yeah. You see his face? Like, you swear to God, he's like, somebody will betray me. And she's the only one who's next to him at the Mr. Ali Center. During an event that happened on Saturday. And what Lyndon do? He posted. It was like chilling with the prosecutor. Gang, gang. There's only Batman could do that. He must be a Sagittarius or a Taurus. I think maybe he gives kind of Scorpio vibes there. Because Scorpios don't get caught. Anyway, so what happens now? It happens that at the end of the day, he's on the investigation, so he has a cloud over his head, no matter which fancy speeches he makes in Parliament. Darrell York, you're a little bit too bold to wait a whole 45 minutes and ask the question like, Minister, so you're not going to say nothing about the search in your office? Like, we just have to act like it never happened? Like, Darrell was really, really direct because Darrell was just waiting and checking. He was checking the room, and everybody don't say anything because it's particular. Like, politicians in St. Martin love to do that. It's only in St. Martin like you would get searched or arrested on Friday, and then on Monday going to do the people's work. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Da-na-na-na. Anyway, so, in more serious news also, Late Night got a little bit of exclusive. And I think it's something that we need to applaud the Minister of Theatre for, because I don't do this enough. I've always given the Minister of Theatre, Richard Haley Martin, a bad time when it comes to certain decisions that she makes. But this by far is the best decision that she has made in her political career. And I think this will put her apart from her husband and make her clear out her own path politically. So I must say, congratulations, as I'm hearing through, some very, very reliable sources, that the marketplace, the old marketplace, where there presently no construction, but they have a nice hokje, they say in Dutch. I think it's called a hecht. How do you say that in English there, Pete? A fence. Yes, a fence. And then underneath, you could see, they have the chicken coop. So let's call it a chicken coop. And I understand that the Minister of Theatre is making it an attraction, and it's going to become a petting zoo. So there's going to be a petting zoo in the middle of Philipsburg. I think she's calling it urban agriculture. So what's going to happen is, you see the pigs that is be on K Bay or on top of Coal Bay Hill, just running around. She's going to relocate those pigs and put them right there in the middle of Philipsburg, because you have the fence there already. She's also calling all those persons who have chickens in Philipsburg to come and recuperate them, because they're all going there. Also the pigeons, she's making a pigeon coop, like a separate, where they're gonna have all sort of pigeons. They're gonna have pigeons from Guana Bay, pigeons from French Quarter, so it's gonna be exotic pigeons, if that makes sense. And not forgetting, since GEBE having issues with the generator because of the rats, she's also making way for a section where they're going to have a rat farm. So there, where the rats is, kids can be able to come. You have to pay $1 though. It's $1 to enter the urban zoo, and you have to pay it by the parking lot, where you just pay the lovely ladies $3 for 5 minutes to park there. Yes. It's going directly into the covers of the agriculture ministry that is to come. And she said this is the first start of, what she call it? Organic urban tourism. I think it's something that we must commend her on. So I told her, I personally sent her a message and said we should call it the Krisha Zoo. But she didn't answer, so I'm just waiting. But I saw the blue tick, so just note, I'm just saying that I know that you read it. Because I'm going to send a question mark later on. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to bring the kids. It's going to be an attraction. Just walk in and you see, you know, a whole animal farm in the middle of Philipsburg. Might as well, since nothing is happening with the construction that's supposed to be going on so that we can finish before December. But who am I? Once again, just a comedian. So congratulations to the Ministry of Tiat. And I hear that the inspector is going to be the guards because they ain't doing nothing either way. Boom! That's why I get the big bucks. All right, let's move on to some other news. Savage Chris is in the news again. Why he's in the news again is because I noticed that his court date. Remember when they had arrest? No, they had question. No, they had confiscate a bunch of things from the former member of parliament, the leader of the Now. Guess what? The case is in December. So there's some trouble in the Now party because I don't think people notice, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I guess I'll be the dick to do that. So the way that the system is set up is that the Minister of Justice, who's also a member of parliament of the Now, the sole member of the Now, if he gets suspended because of this investigation, Christopher Emmanuel will then become the acting MP. Because Christopher Emmanuel is also under investigation, the next person in line is Claudius Boncampo. Because Claudius Boncampo is also under investigation, the next person in line is going to be Gromiko Wilson. Boom! Democracy, you say? What? We gone from 3 people who are under investigation, which you voted for, and we're going to put someone, and I ain't talking about Chris Weaver, I ain't talking about Kevin. This time, we're talking about Gromiko will be the in facto Now MP if everybody who's under investigation can't become a member of parliament. Wild! And he will be on the floor of parliament and he will say, I am here for the people. The people wanted me here to question everybody in government. It's through the confidence of the people I represent everybody. I'd like to thank all my maribombas. I would like to thank all of those people who said that I cannot make it because in the Bible it says, so you understand where we're going. He will be going in. You won't be able to stop him. He will be the MP of God chosen. So, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, democracy is at play and you can't do nothing about it. Yeah? Good? You got it? Woo! What a late night. We starting off our Monday hot. Welcome to the show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
You've dreamt it. You've worked hard for it. And now you've got it. You deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor and know that you're covered in case of a disaster, like an unexpected fire or a vehicular collision. At Magic Insurances, we focus on settling your claims quickly and fairly so you can get back to enjoying your life. Magic Insurances, fast, fair, and always there.
New Gen. She my gang. Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why your body? Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? When we come in our bed, tick tock, girl, wine to your head. Anytime I see a girl, you want to get wet. Burn like a cigarette, bend down, like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Burn like a cigarette, bend down, like a next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Everybody get mad.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry department, respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on two major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
Welcome back to the show. All right, let's continue with your highlights of the Justice Committee meeting that took place, where Batman gave elucidation of what is happening in justice from the space at the Point Blank prison to some short staff, some issues within the different ministries, but he promises he will be fixing it before he leaves and goes strictly to Parliament.
Sitting here before you today and addressing this central committee is a privilege. I would like to sincerely thank the chair and the honorable members of Parliament for inviting me here to discuss these vital issues facing our justice system. Since I was appointed Minister of Justice on May 3rd, 2024, I have closely observed the many challenges and opportunities within our justice sector. I hope that today's dialogue will help address these pressing matters. First, regarding the medical care, human rights of the detainees, prison management, and safety, there is an urgent need for reform, especially at the Point Blank prison. The living conditions have been highlighted as inhumane, with reports of insufficient medical care, a lack of structured programs for the inmates, and severe overcrowding. Aside from that, I have noted unexplained incidences of violence and inappropriate behavior between prison personnel and inmates and other alleged incidents of misconduct. While plans are on the way to construct a new prison facility in partnership with UNOPS and the Netherlands which will solve some of these issues in the medium to long term. I have prioritized addressing immediate concerns to uphold the human rights of all detainees and the integrity of the Point Blanche prison. Second, crime control and law enforcement continue to be a priority. I am proud of the progress made in strengthening law enforcement operations, including our partnerships with counterparts on the French side. However, challenges persist, particularly with rising gun violence and certain hotspots. While the police force remains dedicated to addressing these issues, resource constraints such as a lack of adequate vehicles and need for greater community cooperation continue to hinder progress. We are working to increase the resources available at or to the police force of St. Martin, but long-term structural solutions that consider socioeconomic factors are essential. Third, we have made notable strides in the victim support services, and I am proud of the progress in this area. The Victim Support Services of St. Martin has been actively assisting families, helping victims cope with the release of offenders, and raising awareness on issues such as human trafficking and human smuggling. The collaboration with France victims has also greatly enhanced our capacity to support victims on both sides of the island. Finally, effective administration and clear policies are crucial for a functioning justice system. Since my appointment, we have identified a need to modernize and streamline administrative processes within the Ministry of Justice. This includes revisiting outdated policies, implementing new frameworks for handling complaints, and improving the efficiency of legal case management, particularly in detainee management, personnel issues, and immigration. These reforms aim to reduce delays, ensure timely responses, and create a more transparent and accountable system. In conclusion, I am confident that with all stakeholders, continued efforts and cooperation, we can address these critical issues and strengthen our justice system. I look forward to your questions and engaging in a constructive discussion on our way forward. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister. To which member of parliament can I give the floor? MP La Cruz, you have the floor.
A blessed afternoon, Madam Chair Lady, to the Acting Griffier, the Minister of Justice, his support staff, and fellow members of Parliament, those listening through all the social media. Madam Chair Lady, I have a couple questions for the Minister. Question one. Why are resident permits for partners of St. Martinus still being issued with the condition that they are not allowed to work? Based on a court decision, it was ruled that we cannot put in the residency permit of a partner of a resident of St. Martin, not allowing it to work. So, Minister, could you please look into that? Question two, please indicate where this is shown in the law, or is this to the purview of the Minister? Question three, why does the ministry accept the practice that a suspect who is in detention is automatically transferred into immigration detention on the request of the prosecutor? The prosecutor cannot and or does not have the authority to make this decision to transfer a suspect into immigration detention. If I am wrong, please indicate where in the law this is stated. Question four, where are persons being held in immigration detention currently? Question five, under what policy or law is it allowed to hold someone in immigration detention? Question six, who is authorized to do that and what is the process? Question 7. Minister, just for your knowledge, the questions were already sent to your support staff, so no one needs to write them down. Why and based on what law is this facility approved to be an immigration detention? Who approved it and based on what standards? Question 9. Minister, are you aware of a recent court decision whereby the court said that you are not allowed to ban a person after he or she has been sent back to the country of origin? What did the ministry do with this court ruling? My following questions are pertaining to the prison. Suspects who are in pre-detention at the police station are being released by the prosecutor's office due to lack of space. Every day, suspects are being released. Is it only a few that are being transferred to Point Blanche? Next question. After sentencing, the inmates sit 2/3 of their time. The minister and the ministry are in charge of deciding on the release after sentencing. The minister gets advice from the probation officer, prison, and the Centrale Commissie for the Reclassering for the advising part, and the release there is no actual role of the prosecutor. Minister, can you tell me if it is correct that a prosecutor has a say or not in who gets released after sentencing? If so, why and based on what law? Following question. Based on case law, the appeal court's decision, the process for early release needs to start at least 2 months prior to the early release date. This never happens. Why is there a backlog on the advices from CCR? Are they still functioning? How many members do we have in CCR? What is the time frame that is needed for an advice? What is the reason inmates don't get their decision on release on time? Next questions. The former minister published a so-called early release and ankle bracelet policy. Is this policy the early release due to lack of cell space on the ankle bracelet or under conditions or other conditions? Is at the discretion of the minister? It states verbally, it is mentioned that they have an extra 6 months deduction on their time if there is a situation that they need the cells. Shouldn't there be a transparent policy that applies for all? Because now, how you decide minister, how do you decide, minister, who gets released on time and who not? Next question. Minister, now that we have a serious problem with cell capacity and the suspects are being released after a couple days from police custody and adults are being detained at the MLC, how come we have not introduced the old policy on early release again, which the former Minister Duncan had canceled for no reasons? Aruba, the Best, and Curacao all have this policy. Where's the policy for St. Martin? Minister, during the budget debate, you said that the release of inmates depends on various persons. You mentioned the governor, the prosecutor, and even lawyers. Can you please explain what you mean? Because as mentioned, the release of inmates is clearly mentioned in the law. Lawyers has no say at all on which inmates are being released. If I'm wrong, please clarify. So, according to what we've been hearing, there's a problem with cell capacity. Does the ministry look at the percentage of the time the inmate sat already, the person who has the highest percentage can come out first before their time? How is the percentage being calculated? Do you calculate the percentage from the time they got sentenced, or do you calculate the percentage from the time they actually have been incarcerated? So sentence minus 1/3. Is this also written in a policy, or is it just a verbal agreement? Next question. Minister, what is the status of inmates to get medical help? Currently, a few inmates need urgent medical attention and are still waiting on the ministry to take a decision. Based on recent court cases, the prosecutor's office is stating that the final decision is still being made by the minister. Is this true, or is it? And if not, please clarify. Next question. Based on a law, an inmate needs to work once they've received their sentence. What is the status of this? Why are inmates who have received long prison sentences, why are they still not working? What is the ministry's vision on this? What is the minister's opinion on working outside of the prisons, like they do in St. Kitts, for example, chain gang? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP La Cruz. To which other member of parliament can I give the floor?
Time for a commercial break. When we come back, more late night. Stay with us.
Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV 15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the Late Night Show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV 15.
Thank you, TV 15. Make sure to tune in
Make sure to tune into the Late Night.
and Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late Night.
Welcome to SXM Taxi, the most convenient way to hail a taxi on St. Martin. Our app is strictly dedicated to licensed taxi drivers only on the island of St. Martin. You must have an active authorized taxi license and driver's license to be approved to use our service. Our app is designed for the convenience of both customers and drivers. Customers simply download the app, upload a credit card, and have immediate access to any driver available nearby. Once you sign up and are approved to drive, you can choose when you want to use the app by toggling the switch at the top center of your screen to either online or offline. When you are online, you will be alerted for passenger pickups in your area, be visible to riders, and be able to accept rides. When you are offline, you will not receive alerts and you will be invisible to riders. This feature is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to use at your discretion, making the app extremely flexible and user-friendly for the driver. Once the rider requests a taxi, a notification is sent to all drivers in the vicinity. The first available driver to accept the ride gets the fare. Once you are alerted of a potential fare, you can accept the trip by clicking the Accept button at the bottom of your screen. The app's built-in GPS feature will then guide you directly to the rider's location. By clicking the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you can choose from 3 different GPS integrations: Apple Maps, Google Maps, or Waze. This feature gives you the ability to use the GPS platform you are most comfortable with. Please keep in mind that you must download the GPS app that you prefer separately onto your phone in order to use this feature. We recommend downloading the Waze GPS app for best results, as we find it to be the most accurate and up-to-date GPS platform. Once you arrive at your passenger pickup point, slide the Mark Arrived arrow at the bottom of your screen. For added security, the app will require you to enter either the last 4 digits of the passenger's phone number or an OTP code that was provided to the rider. This built-in safety feature protects drivers from unwanted or incorrect passengers. Once you enter the correct code, the ride can start by swiping the slide to begin arrow on the bottom of your screen. Once the trip is complete, simply swipe the slide to end right arrow on the bottom of your screen. The fare is automatically calculated and charged to the rider's credit card. You are now ready and available for your next ride. Driver sign-up bonus fees. All drivers that sign up to use our service will receive an additional 10% booking fee for every fare booked with the app through 2025. In addition, the first 100 drivers that use our service and reach their 100th ride milestone with SXM Taxi will receive a one-time $500 bonus fee.
Hey, did you know I just signed up for Flex by Telem?
Do you mean flex like this?
Definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not Flex like that. Telem's Flex is a mobile plan that adapts to your needs. Each month, I get a preset monthly fee that has a set amount of data, SMS, and minutes. So I know what I'm getting. But say goodbye to overages and bill shock, because when I go over my postpaid plan, it switches to prepaid. So I have the flexibility to top up what I need when I need it. I'm in complete control. My budget, my rules.
York, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, honorable colleagues, Minister and support staff, and the viewing public. Minister, I think we would all be remiss if we were not to address the elephant in the room. I would have hoped it would have been part of your opening statement, so it was not, so hence my question. You've dominated the headlines in recent weeks for positive things, and as of recent, the headlines have brought more questions and answers. So as it pertains to your person and the ministry, before you answer MP La Cruz's questions, I think the viewing public, as those in this room, would like more clarification on your person and the ministry in relation to the news as of late. Thank you.
Thank you, MP York. Are there other members of Parliament that request the floor? Seeing that that is not the case, I myself as well have a few questions. Give me a moment. Minister, I will start with the topic medical care and human rights of the detainees. How does the ministry guarantee that detention of detainees align with the human rights standards? And how is the ministry ensuring that there is no breach with Article 3 of the European Convention law? Just for clarity's sake, I will provide those questions as well as my colleague MP Brug mentioned. Second question, the law allows for the possibility of granting a pardon under Article 611 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Why has it been decided to provide a sentence suspension for the inmate that has been terminally ill and not grant a pardon as based on that article that I mentioned, so that that inmate can enjoy the remaining time that he still have? Other than that, the third question, there are currently still inmates in the Netherlands. How is the ministry ensuring that they are being released on time? As I understood, that there currently are inmates that had to be released since the beginning of October, but are still incarcerated in the Netherlands. Could the ministry provide clarification in regards to this? My question is now in regards to prison management and safety. How is the ministry ensuring that inmates that need to be transported to other islands, for example, so based on the ORD, onderlinge for example, for medical reasons, are being transported in a timely manner? I have been aware of a situation of an inmate waiting for almost 2 years to be transported to the Netherlands because he's not fit to be detained in the Point Blanche prison, but currently he's still detained there. Also, another question is, who is in charge of the early release of inmates once they are irrevocably sentenced? I understood during the budget debate that there was something mentioned in regards to that, but also seeing what my colleague MP La Cruz mentioned, also the fact of lawyers being involved in that matter, I would like to get that clarified. I also understood that it takes very long for inmates to receive their release date after being sentenced, and also their verdict from the court of first instance or the appeals court. Can the ministry look into this, where the hiccup is, and make sure that that can be tackled, because it can be very frustrating at times when inmates don't know when their release date is. Is there any consideration given by the ministry of the introduction of weekend verlof for inmates close to the ending of the prison sentence? This can also tackle the current capacity issue. It seems like MP La Cruz knew my questions, but we think alike, because my question also is, when will the ministry make use of the option for inmates to work outside of the prison? The law provides that option, and I also believe that it can be seen as a win-win situation. Has the ministry looked into it, or will the ministry in the short term look into that option? Also seeing that there is currently also a lack of manpower, if there's a short-term solution in regards to that. Is there any outcome on the investigation in regards to the attack of an inmate in an isolation cell? I read a newspaper in regards to that a few months ago. If so, can that outcome be shared with Parliament if needed in confidential matter? Also in the news article, June 4, 2024, the ministry reported the attack was made possible due to corruption within the prison system. Based on what kind of evidence the statement was made, and has this been confirmed? And if so, have any disciplinary actions been taken? If there is any corruption within the prison, how and in what way has the ministry, what has the ministry done to make sure to root it out of the system, as mentioned in the article of June 4, 2024? Is there currently sufficient staffing to manage the prison effectively and to ensure the safety of the inmates and the staff? If not, what is the current short-term solution to solve this matter? How will the ministry ensure that similar incidents, attacks in the solitary confinement and our other places within the prison will not occur in the future? Also, in regards to in the statement made by the minister when he had his opening remarks, could you maybe also clarify if there is a short-term solution to tackle the current relationships within the prison in regards to staffing and our inmates, and if that is taking place, how that will be tackled? What is also the current percentage of staff working per shift, and how much of those staffs are females? So what's the ratio per working hour, so per 8-hour shift? When will there be any public phones placed within the prison? So not through the social worker, but really phones that inmates can make calls to family members, etc. My question is now in regards to crime control and law enforcement challenges. Seeing the current rise in crime, yesterday another shooting on the public road, I do believe, as my colleague MP Doron suggested, it's time for a gun amnesty program. So therefore, my question is, when will this gun amnesty program going to start? What is a short-term solution to tackle the current rise in crime, especially seeing the shootings and the robberies? Seeing that the current prison is full and the crime is still rising, I do suggest, Minister, that it's time to be creative. The law provides the option for alternative punishment. Also, there is currently an ankle bracelet policy, but in my opinion, that policy is just a copy of the law. So is it in the plans of the ministry to make an ankle bracelet policy that tackles the current prison capacity, and to make sure that that is being minimalized, so that also the ones that are currently committing crimes are fearing to go into prison, because at this moment, there is no space. So it's being, wait, okay, this case will go to, this person will be going into custody, and this person will be let go. So will this ankle bracelet policy be made, and then specifically into tackling the current prison capacity? And also, as mentioned by my colleague MP La Cruz, the previous policy that was in place, also referred to as the treintjebeleid, train policy, that the ones that has been serving the longest time, that they will be released prior to the two-third sentence. So you have the option of the two-third sentence, you have fulfilled that, and then you have the possibility of the ankle bracelet. But seeing that we are in this situation at this moment, to even add to that, that percentage-wise, you look into, okay, this person has served the most of their time, and now that person is eligible for early release. If that is being looked into. And also, I'm very curious, if this
That is it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, stay safe, stay classy, and if they search you, just make way, because they come in no matter what. Oh!